a bunch of other random stuff. Shot glasses, pins. Are you getting fixated on chat again? Am I losing you?
No, I was ready to start the next game, man.
All right, man.
I'm one step ahead of you.
SlayerS currently up 2-0, and who is Alternate going to throw out? They're going to throw out Goody against Golden here.
Right.
And the map is going to be Antiga Shipyard. And I wonder if Goody is still just rocking the exclusive mech. I would imagine he is.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this for a second. First, obviously, Goody is not from ATN. He was picked up as a ringer to play for ATN because ATN didn't have the depth chart. You know, they needed a 5th player, so they called out Goody. By our rules, totally legit, totally standard. I guess they're going to split the money if Goody wins. Now, the thing is, he hails from Euro. He is a super hardcore mech style player, and one thing that I've noticed about him against Protoss, against Zerg, against every race, he will rock siege tanks till they die. He lives by the motto, roll out.
Yeah, for sure. He loves his tanks. There's no doubt about it. He is the Panzer Commander.
The Panzer Commander.
The Panzer General himself. Currently rocking the Panzer. Maybe one day he'll get upgraded to the Tiger or the Tiger Mark II. He'll probably have to win a big tournament. Then he can be the Tiger Commander.
Could be the M1 Abrams tank commander.
The Tigers were like the most feared tanks in all of World War II, man.
From the Germans?
Shake the very ground for miles. It's the biggest tank they made. Or I think the King Tiger was actually the biggest tank that they ever made.
How big are we talking?
Enormous. They were...
Was it like Thor enormous?
They were way bigger than the Panzers. But the production costs associated with them and the parts were like so complex that it wasn't worth it at all.
I've seen some crazy stuff in history documentaries where they show what the Germans were making and what they were capable of.
Yeah.
That they just never completed. It was in its prototype stages. And when
a lot of rockets.
When World War II ended, we actually took a lot of that technology and integrated into that. That's what advanced us so far.
Jets
in the 50s. Yeah.
The Germans actually had working jet airplanes at the end of the war.
Are very intelligent people.
They're very good at engineering. Absolutely.
Super good at engineering. German engineering, man.
Some of the best in the world.
Well, we'll have to see if Goody can engineer a win here in this series.
BMWs, man. Nice cars.
BMW branded siege tanks rolling out for Goody.
So it looks like he is going to open up here with a Reaper, which is interesting. We do see Goody oftentimes open up with a couple bio units.
Yeah.
But he's not fooling anybody. We all know he's going to go straight into mech. It doesn't matter.
That's very German-like of him, though, the Reaper.
Why
I feel
is
like
that?
It's a Blitzkrieg unit. Like,
a Blitzkrieg
It hops over
unit.
and it runs up in you and it just destroys everything. Sorry, guys, I'm making references to German's past.
A Blitzkrieg unit.
It is, though, isn't it? It kind of like jumps up at you.
I mean, but...
As surprise out of the bushes, you don't expect it.
That's not really what Blitzkrieg meant, though.
Flash warfare. That's what it meant. Lightning warfare.
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, what it really was like the coordination between mechanized units and infantry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
And Air Force.
I know.
They were the first to unite all three. And he does get the bunker up at the natural. And is he going to get the Reaper in? The Reaper's on its way over there. And Goody, you sly dog. You got the bunker up in range of the hatchery. Is he going to send another Reaper? He's making bunkers.
He's pulling one of your moves, man.
Yeah, but I don't.
Yeah, you do.
That was pretty sneaky, man. That was pretty sneaky.
Well, this is actually on Golden for not having an Overlord over his hatchery.
Yeah,
this is one thing that you're trained by negative reinforcement to do as a Zerg. You gotta have an Overlord over that hatchery to see when the bunker is coming up, when the hatchery is still birthing. Man, it doesn't have that much range.
D38 charges do a lot of damage to buildings.
And
there's the second Reaper. Wow, Goody, you snake.
Well, they are chucking grenades out of the bunker right now.
Yes.
They're doing some serious damage.
Golden is going to have to make something happen here. He does have a Roach Warren on the way. It looks like that's his preferred method of dealing with this. And I like that. He's not actually making lings.
Yeah.
But let's hope he gets those roaches out before he loses this hatchery.
Well, I really like how he's using the queens to distract some of the fire, thereby buying time for his hatchery to stay alive. And look how he's alternating the queens when they're weakened in health. So he's essentially sharing the burden of the damage amongst the hatchery and the 3 queens and the 2 queens. And now the roaches
are out, and they can tank a ton of Reaper damage.
Right.
There are 3 Reapers now in the bunker, though, and this is causing all sorts of problems here for Golden. He should unload the Reapers and finish off the hatchery. It's so low.
He's going to finish it off anyway.
There it goes. And Goody takes out the hatchery. And he has 2 more bunkers to work with here if he even loses this first one. And there we go. First bunker goes down. Loads up into the second bunker.
He gets the SCV inside that bunker as well, thereby keeping it ready for
actually
repair.
Get all those Reapers out and recycle both of those.
And he's going to go ahead and do exactly that. He runs away with 3 Reapers still intact. He did some serious damage. And Golden is definitely on the back foot for the first time in this series.
Yeah, Goody just did right by himself right there. That was great. That was a great opener for him. He's in a fantastic position, and I would imagine he's got some siege tanks coming back at home.
Yes, sir.
And yes, he does. He's got the bunker up as well, so these roaches are really not going to be able to accomplish anything. I'd love to see Goody poke back into the main with those 3 Reapers that he has controlling the Xel'Naga tower.
Right.
But it looks like he's going to bring those back to his base, actually.
Interesting. Well, he is going to bring it back, and he's going to have a little bit extra defense here to hold off the Roach push. He's certainly going to be able to hold this off easy peasy. There's no threat here of him losing to any kind of a Roach push. And he even snaps that Roach off as it was running away, a testament to the Siege Tank's true firepower, even when it's unsieged. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that Roach was long out of range there.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, Siege Tanks, they have an incredible range even when they're unsieged. Now, an Overlord is coming in from Golden. He wants to scout exactly what is going on inside the main. He doesn't quite know Goody's play style all that well, although he even already saw that first Siege Tank. The Overlord will probably go down over the middle.
Goody already getting an engineering bay and a medevac. Oh, it looks like he's gonna do a Reaper Marine drop.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's gonna get scouted by that single Roach though. Oh, that sucks. What are the odds of that? Oh, that's just terrible. That sucks for Goody.
That's certainly a shot in the dark. I mean, first of all, I think the only reason the Roach was there because of a misset rally.
Yeah,
that rally was originally set to be aggressive, and he didn't reset it, so that Roach saw the scouting or the move out of the medevac. But look, it looks like Goody is going to alter his route now upon flying over the Roach, and he's going to take the bottom left-hand side of Antiga Shipyard. And he may have an opportunity to snap off the hatchery that just morphed out at the 3rd location.
I really, really like this build from Goody. I like the way, I really like the way it's kind of progressing here. 3rd command center real early on. And using the Reapers and the Marines for potential harass here. I don't think he's going to get anything done at the 3rd, though.
We'll have to see.
There's only one. Yeah, I mean, there's only one drone there, and I don't even think...
I don't know, man. He might be able to kill off the hatchery because there's nothing in the production cycle right now for Golden.
He has roaches at his main, though.
Yeah, I don't know what the roaches are doing. 7 roaches. They're actually running away from the main. I guess he was anticipating a drop at the main, and as a result, he's taking some damage at the hatchery at the 3rd. But the hatchery has 1,500 HP, and that's quite a bit of health for 4 Marines and 2 Reapers without stim pack.
Oh, you really pick those up. The roaches are coming in hot. Oh my god, that Reaper just blew himself to smithereens. I love the Reaper death animation. It's so funny to watch.
It's actually pretty funny when they die over a ledge.
Just swirl around. And
their jetpack will explode into outer space sometimes if you notice when they die in the cliff.
Now let's go take a look at Goody's base because he is doing some really intricate stuff. He's got his 3rd command center up. He's adding additional factories. His tanks are in a really good position to deal with any kind of a potential push. He only has 1 on the low ground there. Those 3 tanks on the high ground. And look at that. They range the ramp perfectly. Just I love the way Goody plays his mech sometimes. It's really fun to watch. He's so experienced with mech.
Yeah.
And he's so meticulous about where he puts his siege tanks. And I love the fact that he's also harassing at the same time as he's doing all this. It's a really good way to go about meching. He's using the Reapers to harass while he's back at his base, massing up and continuing to tech.
Everybody knows that mech is very vulnerable in the early stages of the game, so it's important to be harassing in the early stage so you can build up that mech force and get it to a number that Zerg will have a hard time dealing with. But let's take a look at what Golden's doing, man. From the Zerg perspective, he is getting a quick +1/+1 on melee and carapace, and he's already got a Baneling Nest, so it looks like he's going to rely strictly on Lings and Blings here. But that's not going to be that great against a large number of siege tanks and a Blue Flame Hellions. So I feel like right now what Golden needs to do is get quickly up to lair and get a Spire out. The Mutas are going to be able to dominate the skies and deal with any type of mech Except, I guess, the Thor. But, you know, Thors in small numbers are pretty easy for mutas to deal with as well. So I think Golden needs to get to Spire immediately if he wants to deal with what Goody's fielding right now.
Ooh, and he's already got Burrow researching. I wonder if he's going to get burrowed movement on his Roaches and or his Infestors.
Wow.
Possibly try and do some sneak Burrow action. And here we have Goody already grabbing his third, setting up his tanks in position. Great work thus far out of Goody. I think he's going to be in a real good position going into the mid-game here. He's done some damage. He's even on supply right now. He should be behind, especially when you're meching. You usually fall way down on supply. He's been doing a good job macroing. And he's
making Thors.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Thors mix in very well. They're good against Roaches. They're great against Mutalisks.
That's quite true.
And I'm pretty sure he's going to stick with primarily siege tanks, but he'll definitely mix a few Thors in there just to be safe. Does he even have a Spire? Does Golden have a Spire?
No, he's actually just relying purely... Oh, we have some Blue Flame Hellions dropping into the mineral line of the
main. And look at that
Great
firing
roast.
line.
Oh my god, two drones have only went down actually, so nothing too major there.
A lot of Lings went down right there.
Excuse me,
though.
6 workers did go down.
A lot of Lings went down right there. But Lings are expendable right now. He has a ton of money in the bank.
Yeah.
1,100 right now, so doesn't need to worry about it too much.
Well, I really like right now how Golden is going for Infestors. So at first I said, you know, maybe he should go for Mutalisks. Mutalisks would allow him to dominate the skies and deal with the immobile mech really easily. But he decides to go for Infestors. And I kind of like Infestors as well because fungal growth is pretty good against Hellions. But what's even better is Neural Parasite. If you can land some great Neurals on the tanks and the Thors and mind control them for a brief period, he's going to be able to essentially take half of that Terran army, convert it to his side, and be able to hopefully sway the battle in his favor. And I believe there is a changeling there. There is a changeling there.
Hiding amongst the Thors.
It's hiding under the Thor's arm. It's a smelly place to be.
It'll never be seen, though.
Get some deodorant up in there.
It's genius. It's truly genius.
It is actually really smart.
That will never be found.
Well, the health bars would actually reveal it.
That's true. I doubt Goody will notice, though.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because, you know, the way Goody plays, he has sprinkled Marines here or there. Yeah. So the random changeling is going to be very hard to tell.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we do have a Spire coming up now. Very late Spire and a Hive, so it looks like he's going to go right into Broodlord's European user.
Yeah, and he's taking the fourth.
Broodlords are actually pretty damn good against mech as well.
They are the best counter to mech.
Yeah.
And we have armor and weapons, too, coming for the mech right now. He's starting to add Vikings, though, already, it looks like.
Oh, my God. The Lings are going to get a great surround of the two Thors. God. But he runs away.
Yeah, the Hellions were going to come back and probably clean that up, so he needed to be careful. This push from Goody could be devastating.
Yeah.
Golden needs to be very, very careful here. We do have some burrowed Banelings. He did have some Baneling bombs set up there, but scans from Goody as he pushes across the map. And here we go. Goody is positioning himself very well.
Look at the fungal growth at the front there. Those
beautiful,
aliens.
Beautiful fungal right there.
Yeah.
All the tanks sieging up are going to take out these Spine Crawlers. The Spine Crawlers really just delaying. And there's a huge counterattack of Lings going into the third. There were no Hellions remaining back at base to deal with that. He's going to lose a lot of SCVs at his third. He's actually going to have to pull those all out. He does have a few Hellions streaming in here, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
And this is exactly what Golden needs to do. When you're dealing with a mobile mech, you need to counterattack to deal with the base. Now, the tanks have siege stuff, and really with that much firepower, he can't commit himself right now. But what he can do is continue to counterattack and harass Goody from the back of the mineral line. And it's doing that
Goody
so
loses
well.
that orbital to that amount of Lings.
Oh my God, look at the surround of the tank's not in the best position, and it looks like his entire mech force is going to be cleaned up.
Oh no, that's terrible for Goody. Goody is in a very, very tough spot right now.
Wow, his entire mech ball just went in burning flames.
Infested Terrans, man. That was a very, very good usage of the Infested Terrans. Spit them all over the tanks. The tanks start shooting each other with friendly fire. It adds a whole lot of added hit points, added flak into the battle, and then the Roaches coming from all sides. Here we have some Roaches coming straight into Goody's natural here. Goody needs to be careful, and he needs to get his tank count up. But we do have a greater Spire coming right now, and like you said, the Broodlords will soon to be on the field, and once the Broodlords hop into the mix, things are going to get very, very, very dicey for Goody here. He doesn't have enough Vikings, I don't think. He only has, what, 2 right now? 3, 4? He's actually got 5. He's got 5 out already.
Yeah, he's got 5 Vikings right now, so his count isn't too small to the point where he's going to not have enough anti-air to deal with the Broodlords, but he certainly could use 9 or so, maybe 10 plus when the Broodlords get really innumerable. But at the same time, I feel like he's got to worry about the ground forces. His tank count is pretty small right now. Anytime a Terran player loses most of their tanks in the middle of the map, it becomes a situation where you've got to rebuild very quickly. And you can imagine right now Goody's situation. I'm sure he's in a bit of a frantic kind of desperation mode. He's got to rebuild everything. He actually just killed off an infestor in his mineral line, but he knows that this is a time when things are very, like you said, dicey. He can get attacked and he could lose his entire army because he's not maxed right now, and it's very, very sketchy for him.
It's going to be tough for him to hold a fourth as well. And here you see a ton of roaches coming in towards the fourth. He needs to lift that off immediately. And here we go, Goody bringing in the mech forces right now, landing that gold. So if he can maintain this gold and hold off the eventual Broodlord onslaught, I think he'll be in a pretty good position. He just needs to be really, really careful here. Sending some Hellions around to that fourth, and it's wide open. These Hellions are going to do a ton of damage, and there goes the burrowed drones. No scan going off.
Yeah, I think he just kind of set them in there and not even
He needs to lift those Vikings off. He needs to keep them for the Broodlords. Losing them to roaches right now is not acceptable. 3 Vikings go down right there.
It is
he's
not
going to need those.
acceptable.
No, not at all. He's going to need those real bad in a second.
You do have 7 Broodlords on the field right now, morphing in their
I wish
cocoons.
he had those 3 extra Vikings.
Yeah, these Broodlords are morphing in their cocoons right now. That is 7 Broodlords. That's 14 Broodlings on the field at any given time. In fact, I think a Broodlord can have 4 Broodlings total, 2 pairs. So that's 28 Broodlings that can be on the ground at any given time. That's a lot of Broodlings for Goody to deal with, and he really doesn't have much in terms of anti-air now. He's lost a lot of the Vikings while he was trying to assault that 5th expansion of
God,
Golden.
and Goody's actually trying to make a timing push right here, but I don't know if now's the time. Those Broodlords just finished.
Yeah.
And if he tries to push into those, and here come the Broodlords.
Oh my goodness.
Goody sees it. He's going to go ahead and pull back here. Look at all those Broodlings trapping everything. He needs to siege these tanks up. Here comes the push. And it looks like Golden is actually just going to wait. And I love the flank with the roaches to the 3rd. Those are going to do so much damage.
There's nothing here for Goody to deal with.
It's
6 or so roaches.
But
But we do have an assault here from Goody. He sent a little strike force of tanks and Hellions to try to do some damage at this position. It looks like he will roast up the Queen. Only a Spine Crawler standing in the way. So he's doing a good job of just doing damage wherever possible. At the same time, though, Golden has also eked out some economic gains here. So 21 workers killed total for Golden, and it looks like Goody has killed off a total of 19. So it's pretty even in that regard. But when you consider the Broodlords on the field, Goody still does not have the anti-air necessary to deal with that. And there are 16 Corruptors that just morphed out. So even if he gets Vikings, he's still not going to have the anti-air capable.
Yeah, he's producing Vikings 5 at a time right now, so he's really kicking it into overdrive. He needs to get those air upgrades on the Vikings as well. We'll see here. He's going to try and hold the Vikings. That's a lot of Corruptors.
Yeah, this is a pretty nasty
a lot of Vikings.
spot.
He needs the Thors. He needs the support of the Thors to fight those Corruptors. Where are the Thors? There we go. The Thors doing a ton of splash damage to the Corruptors. He needs to target fire them.
Yep. And he's not exactly target firing.
No, he's not at all. They were
and
shooting the banelings.
The roaches and the Broodlords are going to be able to pound that mech army back more and more. It looks like the Corruptors win out the battle in the skies, and basically on the ground and in the air, it looks like Golden is winning. And he's even brought Queens to transfuse. I love how Zerg players will bring Queens in the late game to help transfuse their Broodlords. And it just looks like right now Golden is just going to push that mech army further and further back.
Yeah, using the infested Terrans once again on the siege tanks. And Broodlord's just ripping the Thors and tanks to pieces. Finally, it looks like he's taking control of the skies back, but Goody calls GG.
It's just going to be a GG.